Everyone experiences the need to have an awkward, uncomfortable, or difficult conversation at some time. Nothing can make these situations go away, but we do have some control over how we prepare for and have these conversations. In this video, we'll present some simple, proven techniques to make having difficult conversations less stressful and more effective. Leadership is exhibited through conversations. Some conversations are more challenging than others. Conversations can be difficult because of you, your current situation, your history and experiences, the other person, their current situation, and/or their history and experiences. If you are expecting a conversation that will be difficult, it's important to get grounded in what's going on inside of you, knowing yourself, why you're feeling a certain way, and why this is important to you will help you engage productively with the other person. Once you're clear on you, then you can focus your attention on the other person. Sometimes you may have to have a difficult conversation in the moment, but if at all possible, spend even a few minutes considering the following points. What is the issue? Why is it bothering you? What gets you hooked about this conversation, person, or issue? What are your assumptions about what's going on? What emotions are attached to this situation? What is your purpose in having the conversation? What is the ideal outcome? What will happen if you have the conversation? And what will happen if you don't? Once you are in touch with the issue and the desired outcome, you're ready to get into the conversation. But don't just jump in and lay everything on the table. Here are some guidelines to develop a set of skills that are sure to make even the most difficult conversation go a little better. First, make it safe to talk. Remove threat. Have the conversation in a neutral, private setting. Show respect in every way you can. An important part of safety and respect is to demonstrate that you are sincerely listening. Thank your counterpart for having the conversation and for being willing to talk. Be sincere. Be real. You are listening because you are curious and because you care, not just because you're supposed to. Make sure your eye contact and body language express that you are open and engaged in the conversation. Ask open-ended questions to help ease the discomfort of the conversation and give the other person an opportunity to talk. Tell me more. I'm realizing as we talk that I don't fully understand how you see this problem. Paraphrase. Express to the other person, in your own words, your understanding of what he or she is saying. Acknowledge the other person's feelings. Remember, the conversation is difficult, not just for you, but for the other person as well. Show empathy. Try the yes and approach. Use this to validate and understand differing perceptions of the same situation. The yes and stance allows you to recognize that the way you each see things matters, and the way you each feel matters. The critical component is that you allow yourself to express your view and listen to the other person's view as well. Once you've reached this stage, you can say, now that we really understand each other, what's a good way to resolve this problem? Remember to recognize your own preconceived notions, assumptions, or stories you might have running in your head. In the heat of a difficult conversation, we can easily forget that we don't have access to anyone's intentions but our own. Don't let your assumptions pull you into combat mentality. Focus on outcome, keep respect at the forefront, and don't guess about the other person's intentions. It's okay to be wrong. Be open to the possibility that an apology or a change of mind is appropriate. If you are sincerely listening, you might find yourself changed by the other person's perspective. Statements that start with you sound accusatory and blaming. They can easily evoke a defensive response. Sentences that start with I are less inflammatory, and they keep responsibility for what is expressed with the person doing the speaking. Using I messages such as I believe, I saw, I am concerned about also emphasizes that one subjective point of view is being shared, and that is yours. By claiming your own point of view, you are opening the door for a second point of view. Remember, in our complex world, we may need to take ownership of missteps, slights, and shortcomings in relationships. Personal accountability is about accepting responsibilities for one's own actions and behaviors and how those actions and behaviors may have contributed to a conflict. Avoid blame at all costs and be aware and open to accepting appropriate responsibility for the situation you are trying to resolve. Finally, remember that conversations involving power differentials can be daunting, depending on what side of the equation you find yourself. So if you hold the power, remember how it must feel for your counterpart if he or she is not a peer. Don't let situations fester. Situations seldom just dissipate and get better spontaneously. Most likely you will feel worse if you don't have the difficult conversation when the need arises, and you are doing no favor to your counterpart by ignoring the need for the conversation. Practicing and developing the skills outlined here can make such conversations a whole lot more manageable.